everybody. Today is May 9th. Happy Saturday. When I woke up this morning, it was actually 33 degrees here in Nashville. So I'm pretty sure Nashville is drunk at this point and it needs to go home because this is spring. And last weekend we had 83 degrees. Today we're supposed to have a high in the upper 50s. I think we're about 50 right now. So it's warming up, but good grief. I am over the cold. So today I'm not going to give you a big tour of the lawn. We did that last week, but I am going to show you a couple of problem areas, and we're going to talk about how we're going to try and tackle them and try and help them be fixed. So let's take a quick look and we'll go from there. All right, so lawn is looking pretty good. All of the brown spots are filling in. But last week I pointed out this area right here, and I said it was a dry spot. And it really is. And part of that is because of before I put in that pop-up downspout, it was not doing a good job of draining. And when it did, it would just kind of cascade down and it was washing out a bunch of stuff. Now that we've got that downspout and the pop-up, I think it's going to mostly fix itself. But we are going to put some AIR-8 down. We've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it here in a second. And then it's also going to help in a couple of different areas. It's also going to help right here in this area. I've got a bunch of POA growing that I'm pulling slowly, but there is some compaction, especially up here along the side of the wall. And then finally, down here at the bottom of the hill, as you can see, all that sand that we put down last weekend is actually filling in really nicely, especially right there. That's all Bermuda that's coming through very, very nicely. The sand did exactly what I wanted it to do. It's holding down all that compost. Hopefully that compost will break down, produce a bunch of nitrogen, and we'll be good to go. But the AIR-8 will also help to break that down. Now, the reason why it's important here is because this is all compaction. It's all clay. We want that to break down as much as possible. The AIR-8 will do just that. We'll talk about that here in a second. Here's another area right here by my air conditioner. And the reason why it's important here is because whenever I come from the front yard with a bunch of stuff, where do I go? Right there. Just compacting the heck out of that. And really the only thing that's there other than the compost that I put down the other day as a top layer is a lot of clay as well that's all compacted. And finally is this area right here, which is, again, when I'm loading up my truck with a bunch of sand or compost or whatever, I go right over here. It's all compacted clay. I've put down compost. That's definitely going to help. And then the final area is right in here, which is also an area that I was running over. But as you can see, overall, it's filling in nicely. I just need to give it a little bit of a hand with the AIR-8. So let's talk about what the AIR-8 does. I've already introduced the Bio-Stimulant pack from Greene County Fertilizer. We've already applied this AIR-8, and I explained that as well in another video, but I'm just going to go through that real quick again. So last week we did the microgreens, which is a soil supplement. All of these are soil supplements. The AIR-8 product in specific allows the soil to be aerated without the mechanical aeration of going through an aerator and actually plugging holes throughout your yard. Now, I showed you a couple of different areas around the yard where it's compacted or it's clay or whatever, and there is clay underneath the subsurface of my lawn. And what this thing does is it helps to break down some of those chemical bonds and allows the roots to go in deep and to take root and actually spread out throughout the yard, especially with my Bermuda. So specifically on the side yard where I showed you all, that area is most concerning because it's on the slope. The Bermuda is going to grow there no matter what, but what I wanted to do is to have the soil in such a way that as the roots start to grow, they'll start penetrating through that soil. So that's why this AIR-8 product is so good for that. Next week, we will do the RGS, which is Root Growth Stimulant. And what that product is going to do is it's going to help with, obviously, root growth. Well, by doing this first, you're loosening up those soil bonds. The Root Growth Stimulant will actually help those roots to go in deep and have a place to go. So that's kind of the plan. I am going to spray this all over the yard because the whole yard needs it because, like I said, there's clay everywhere. The difference is that I've been doing 3 ounces per 1,000, and this time I'm actually going to do 6 ounces per 1,000 for this application. The other thing I did was last night I went out and I bought the ORTHO hose end sprayer, And it works exactly the same way as the Chameleon, but I've watched enough videos where I've seen some of the differences. And while everybody seems to like both products, I couldn't help myself. For 12 bucks, I figured, why not try it myself? The other thing I like about this one that I didn't like about the Chameleon was this hose. And it's got a nice little filter there on the end. But the thing about this hose is it just goes straight down. So I always feel like I'm missing some of the product at the very bottom. I'm gonna give it a shot, and the container is a little bit different. It doesn't hold as much product in here, but it works the same exact way. You've got your ounces on this side, you've got your milliliters on this side. So first things first, let's get some PPE on. Ooh, looky there. So like with all the products, let's make sure we mix it all up really good. Again, try not to get this stuff on you. All right. I am going to set the dial for 2 ounces on the side here. And what the 2 ounces means, again, just as a reminder, 2 ounces means that there are 2 ounces of product from in here is going to come out for every gallon of water that comes through the hose. As a reminder, this amount of product is going to cover both sides of my yard and the front. So until I run out of all this product, I need to cover that area. Look at that product come out. Yeah, this product is coming out much cleaner than the Chameleon. That was the end of my first batch. I am gonna go ahead and say it. This is a much better product. I really like a lot of things about this Chameleon, but the coverage and the spray pattern and the pressure and the amount of evenness that it comes out, this is definitely a better product. I agree with a lot of other reviews where they say the trigger is much more comfortable here, but other than that, I mean, there's really no other reason to go with the Chameleon if you go with this ORTHO product. So just my unbiased review of it, but for whatever that's worth. The next batch here, I'm just gonna do one more mix. I'm not having to do a bunch of them. Do 18 ounces and fill it up with water, finish up the back, and we'll be done with this. I'm gonna have to say that this ORTHO dial-in sprayer is a better product than the Chameleon. I like the Chameleon. There's a lot of things about it that I like, but from a coverage standpoint, from a amount of pressure on the stream to everything else, I think it's just a better product. I think the Chameleon can carry more, which would make it a little bit easier, but for the application that I use for today, I didn't see any issues with it. So I'll be using the ORTHO from now on. And then we'll come back and hopefully we'll see some results from the AIR-8. The next thing we're gonna work on is this Nutsedge killer. I showed you the couple different places where we have Nutsedge. So those are just gonna be spot spraying to try and control that and to kill it. From what I understand is Nutsedge is just really hardy. So we're probably gonna have to do multiple applications, but I'll show you what the results are in about a week after I spray. And for now, we're just gonna go through and spray the areas that I know need to be covered. All right, so this is where I said that discharge is from my AC. So basically I had cut a trench down from right there, brought it all the way down here. And this is where it comes out, which is why it's always wet here, which is also why I probably have a bunch of Nutsedge coming up. But hopefully this will control it and will be in good shape. It'll also be interesting to see what it does to the grass. All right, folks, well, that's pretty much all I've got for now. I'm gonna come back this afternoon and do an overall weed application through a hose-in product that I've got. And but I'm gonna let the stuff that I've got in there right now just soak in. And I've got some things to take care of from my real estate business. And then I'll come back and take care of the rest of the yard with the weeds. So stay tuned, be back in a bit. All right, folks, I'm back from my work on real estate this afternoon. And I'm back to do the last thing I'm gonna do today, which is to put down some weed killer. So I know this doesn't seem very sophisticated to some of you, but this is what I'm gonna use. It works great. For me, I've used it several times. I really don't have that big of a weed problem, to be honest with you. I do see a little bit of crabgrass near my mailbox, which this should take care of. The active ingredient in this is quinclorac, which is a crabgrass killer. And then it also takes care of a lot of other things. It's not gonna take care of the POA. I'm okay with that. Everything else should be taken care of. So it's just really more to just control the weeds that I may have coming up. I did put down the nutsedge earlier. That should take care of that. And then that's pretty much it. So once I get done with this, we'll be done for the day. We did a lot today. We did the AIR-8 to take care of a lot of the dry patches and to make sure that we break up the soil so that we get some good root growth. We also took care of some spot spraying of nutsedge. I actually saw a little bit more down there at the bottom of the hill, so I'll have to go back and do that. And then finally, we just did that general overspray with the Spectracide product that is on the hose end to try and just do a general control of weeds. Like I said, I have a few areas that have some weeds that I'm a little bit concerned about. I've got some early small areas of crabgrass that I'm gonna go ahead and try and control with that. And that's pretty much it. That's the majority of what I'm trying to get done. I hope you all had a great weekend. It was beautiful here. It finally warmed up. This is actually probably overkill wearing this light hoodie, but that's Nashville for you. 1 minute you're below freezing and a freeze warning, the next minute you're sweating to death. So anyway, to all the moms tomorrow, happy Mother's Day. I hope that you all have a wonderful day. You all deserve more than you probably get, I'm sure. With that, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button and that bell so that you can be notified of future videos. Talk to y'all later. Bye.